Suvankar Sen joining in, MD and CEO of Senco Gold and Diamonds. Mr. Sen, thank you so much for your time with us here on NDTV Profit, and thank you for staying on. We had to address what's happening in the markets right now before we came to you, so a bit of delay on that. What is the outlook looking like for 2026 calendar year? Let me start there. It has been actually, in a sense, a gold rush for your entire space, in part because of high prices.
So if you look at our top line growth that we are seeing, YTD, we feel that till now it looks very much easy and comfortable to cross the 20% growth targets that we have been aiming for. With the gold prices going up, yes, we are seeing a little bit of a dip in the volumes, but in terms of value, I think with the way the consumers are buying what they bought during the Dhanteras season, and as we go on to the wedding season, things look positive, and the 20% plus growth in terms of top line looks very much possible. And I would say that going on to the new year, FY26, with the number of weddings that are in the pipeline and the positive sentiments that is there with the gold and silver as a category, as a asset class, as something to buy for the family, as a saving as well as an adornment, we would continue to stay positive and hope that this 18 to 20% growth that we aiming year after year shall continue to remain as a target for the upcoming financial year as well.
You know, part of the strategy, which is I think differentiated for Senco, is also the focus on tier 2, tier 3 cities. Are you seeing better demand there? What is behind that push?
So the franchisee model that we've been doing for the last 25 years or so has enabled us to get into the tier 2, 3, 4, like the smaller towns. And what we are seeing is that, with these increase in gold prices, with the various policies that the government is coming up with, hallmarking become mandatory, and now there are talks of making certain certificates along with the jewelry, with pictures of the jewelry. So there will be more regulation and more control over the various quality control initiatives of the jewelry industry. So with such things, I think that for us or organized players like us, it will only help us to kind of penetrate into the markets. Even from a consumer point of view, I think consumers are becoming a lot more brand conscious. While the category is somewhere, through competition, is treated as a commodity, but the design aspect of it, the branding aspect of it, the aspiration of the India, which is not only in the bigger cities, but also in the smaller towns. And thanks to the internet, what we are seeing is that the smaller towns, the consumers are asking for the designs which are being newly launched, which is available in the cities, but they don't want to travel all the way to the bigger cities, and they want that facility and convenience in the smaller town. And I think with our hub and spoke model that we have, so the capital city of the state is acting as a company-owned, company-operated store as a hub, and that is feeding into the the need and the demand of the smaller towns with the continuous supply and replenishment of the stocks. That's how we are trying to play down the the demand of the customers.
Okay, Mr. Sen, though, having said that, there's a certain amount of price sensitivity as well, and you mentioned that volumes are getting impacted by the higher prices of gold and silver at that. So if I were to ask you, heading into 2026 or even for FY27, if you've made adjustments for that in your own estimates that you've penciled in, and do you anticipate a drop in volumes, if at all?
So, there are two, three things happening here. One is that in certain categories, consumers are also demanding for jewelry which is of the lower caratage. So, it is not just the 22 carat hallmark jewelry, but also 18 carat hallmark jewelry in the gold jewelry segment that we see in certain markets where consumers are demanding. And what is the reason? It is to fit into the budget of the consumer when they come to buying, jewelry for the wedding or for any special occasion. And for the diamond jewelry segment, what we're seeing is that it's not just restricted to 18 carat hallmark gold, but also 14 carat and 9 carat. And this is also a initiative taken only to make the jewelry affordable as per the consumer's budget. So yes, there will be some impact in the volume, because it has been historically seen when the gold prices are on an upward trend, consumers take a little time to get adjusted to the increase of the budget. So they increase the budget, but not to the same extent. And to that extent, we have to reduce the volume projections that we have and plan it accordingly. And also to maintain the return on capital and the inventory levels, we have to be very specific. We are looking, studying, we are seeing that people are looking for lighter weight jewelry. And as per those studies and reading, we are changing the inventory and making it as per the need of the customer. So that's the way we are trying to plan the whole thing out.
Got it. Mr. Sen, thanks so much for taking the time. Pleasure speaking with you as always, and wish you all the best heading into the new year.